This is Total Outdoor Programming.
Hey everybody, this is Marty from Total Outdoor Programming, and just going to do a new video for you today. This is just a basic early season setup for duck hunting. I'm just going to show you a spread that I like to use, and this is when the migration's not full swing. You've just got a limited number of local birds around that you're working, so you don't need a big spread. But this is the way that I like to use and I've had the best success with. The first thing that you want to try and do if you can, and it depends on your hunting situation and what you have to work with, is keep the sun at your back as much as possible. You want those birds to be looking at nothing but a dark silhouette when they're coming in, and that'll keep you hidden a little bit better. The second thing that you want to do is make sure you have that wind, if possible, coming over your back or coming from one side or the other. The one thing you don't want is the wind right in your face. If it's coming right in your face, they won't be able to cup as easy, and they're more likely to land somewhere else where they can cup easy. And so try and always, if you can, have the sun at your back, and try and have the wind at your back or coming from one side or the other. Today, our situation, we've actually got the wind coming in from the west right now, and so when those birds come in, they should turn and circle and start cupping into the wind coming from the east over here. So we're going to set up our spread according to that and have the sun at our back. Now what we're doing today, this is obviously not where you would typically hunt. We're just at a boat launch at a lake, but this is the easiest way that we could set up and show how we would do this. Typically there would be a blind here, something that you'd be using a lot of shore habitat, some kind of cover to get behind and keep you concealed while the birds are flying. Okay, so this is just about as simple of a setup as it gets. This is just a basic C setup is what I call it, and that means you've got one set over here and one set over here, kind of curves in a C shape, and you're trying to leave a little hole in the center for them to aim for. Wind's coming this direction, they're going to circle around, cup in. You're hoping that they'll drop in either right in front of those decoys, or the best possible opportunity would be is if they drop into this hole here. Now this is kind of compressed. I would typically set this up a little bit bigger, but since we're just doing this spur of the moment at a boat launch, this will kind of give you the general principle of what we're doing. Typically though, if we were setting up for an actual morning's hunt, we would use the boat and expand that out about 20 yards, which gives you a good idea of where your shooting range is going to end just beyond that. And same thing over here. We'd expand this line out probably about 30 to 40 yards off from shore, and leave this hole in here about twice the size. So instead of being 15 yards across, it would be about 30 yards across. If the wind's coming from this direction over here, I set the least number of decoys on this side so it makes them feel more comfortable dropping in over the top of those decoys. And then I'll set the biggest line coming out on the upwind side, so when they're coming in, they'll see that line and drop in, hopefully land right in here. And then the last touch I do is right in the center. I'll put a few feeder decoys, usually 3 or 4. I've just got one out right now just to show you generally where I put those right in the center. That way when the birds are coming in, they see that there's a reason to be in here too, which is for the food that that duck is feeding on. So your smaller line on this side, which is where they're hopefully going to be coming from, so they have less to go over the top of. Your bigger line over here kind of acts as your stop sign. And hopefully this big hole in the center is what they're going to dump into, and then you just set up along the shore here in some cover and do your best to call them in. So hopefully that helps for you. Try that tip, and it works for me, so hopefully it'll work out good for you.